welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we'll start with preamble of the Constitution. So before that, Prelims Revision Carnival UPSC CSE 2020 has started. Special Classes Festival will begin from 5th September 2020 and 400 plus free live classes will be there. So don't waste your time and enroll for Unacademy. We can crack it. Unacademy UPSC Championship 2.0 All India Free Mock Test Series UPSC CSE Prelims 2020-21 Paper 1 JS. You'll get a chance to meet UPSC CSE 2019 toppers, top Unacademy educators and Unacademy subscription scholarship. This will start from 30th August, 6th September, 13th September, 20th September and 27th September. You can enroll now. As we know that we have our exams next week for UPSC and only 33 days are left. So you can complete your preparation for UPSC CSE 2020 with Unacademy. So why should we subscribe for this? So this one subscription has unlimited benefits like learn live from the comfort of your home, unlimited access to all courses, top educators of all in one platform. We'll have full coverage syllabus, regular doubt clearing sessions, live test series. Along with that, we'll give you study material in PDF format, so you don't need to write. You just need to open on your laptop or phone, and you can start studying. And we will give you answer writing practice sessions also under our mentors and guidance. So, UPSC Complete Preparation Batch courses have started from 7th September 2020 and we have 3 batches. The first one is a bilingual batch in which we will have Hindi and English both, and the instruction will be given in both the languages, so it's very easy for you to understand it. Then the second batch is totally in Hindi and all instructions and materials will be provided by the educators in Hindi. And the third one is in English where all the students will be given instructions in English and study material. So don't waste your time and enroll now for Unacademy. So if you subscribe now, you will get 10% off and you need to apply this code SMPLEYT. And you'll get daily current affairs on 7:30 daily on 7:30 p.m. and you'll have 20 questions, 20 minutes, 40 marks and with test analysis. And this current affairs test series is totally free. And if you like our channel, then please join our YouTube channel Unacademy Articulate, Telegram Unacademy Articulate and Facebook also. So let's start with the topic. So the American Constitution was the first to begin with a preamble. And preamble refers to the introduction and preface to the Constitution, which means कि जो preamble है वो एक introduction है, वो हर constitution के पहले आता है और इसमें basically short में बताया जाता है कि हमारा total constitution किस पे based है. उसके बाद जो preamble है it's a summary and essence of the constitution, मतलब basically summary बताया गया है हमें अपने constitution के बारे में. उसके बाद N.A. Pakiwala, an eminent jurist and a constitutional expert, called this as the identity card of the constitution, and it is based on the objectives resolution that has been drafted and moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And this preamble was amended by the 42nd Amendment, as we know, that took place in 1976, and we added 3 more words to our preamble, that is socialist, secular and integrity. So we will discuss about these 3 words in detail in our further presentation. So let's start with the basic text of preamble. So the preamble has 4 important ingredients. One is the source of authority of the Constitution. So preamble states that the Constitution derives its authority from the people of India. And second, that the nature of Indian state, that it declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular and republican polity. And then we have the objective, that is liberty, equality, fraternity and justice. इसका मतलब ये है कि हमारे objectives क्या है कि हम इन 4 जो हमारा थीम हमने बनाया था, हम अपने जो constitution है वो amend कर सके और हमारे rules और regulation वैसे. उसके बाद the date of adoption of a constitution is on November 26, 1946. So there are some keywords in the preamble, and the certain keywords are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So we will talk about all these terms in the presentation. So let's start with the term sovereign. So what sovereign means? So the word sovereign basically implies that the India is neither a dependency nor a dominant of any other nation. सो इट मीन्स दैट कि हम किसी पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं है, ना हमारे ऊपर कोई और रूल करता है हमारे नेशन को. तो इसका मतलब ये है दैट वी आर एन इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट, और हमारे ऊपर किसी की भी अथॉरिटी नहीं है, और हम अपने ओन अफेयर्स खुद कंडक्ट कर सकते हैं, बोथ इंटरनली एंड एक्सटर्नली. So after 1949, India declared the constitution of full membership of Commonwealth of Nations, and we accepted the British Crown as the head of declaration that does not affect our sovereignty. It does not affect our sovereignty in any other manner. So then we also accepted the United Nations membership, that is also known as United Nations Organization. So it constitutes it also does not constitute a limitation on our sovereignty. So we can say that sovereign cannot, so any country cannot acquire, we cannot acquire a foreign territory nor cede a part of its territory in any favor of sovereign rule. इसका मतलब ये है कि हम कोई और फॉरेन जो टेरिटरी है उसको मकवाया नहीं कर सकते हैं, और ना ही हम अपना जो पार्ट है वो हम किसी और को दे सकते हैं जो उस फेवर में हो, जो सॉवरेन रूल के हो. So being a sovereign state, India can neither acquire and nor succeed. So our next term is socialist. So socialist had been added in the 42nd Amendment in 1976, and it has a socialist content in the form of our DPSM, that is Directive Principle of State Policies. So basically, it means that Constitution has a socialist inclination of the Constitution has a socialist inclination. So basically, our Constitution makers focused on this idea, and they adopted some of the socialist pattern in our country. So the Congress party adopted a resolution to establish a socialist form of government. And there's a difference between democratic socialism and communist socialism. So we adopted a democratic socialism and not communist socialism, which involves a nationalization of all the properties and resources and abolition of private property. So therefore we took a mid path and we adopted mixed economy. Mixed economy had elements of both the private and public sectors, and we made a middle part. For our economy. So therefore, socialist aims to end poverty, disease, and inequality of opportunity. And Indian socialism is both a blend of Marxism and Gandhian socialism. So our next term is secular. So if we know that the term secular was also added in the 42nd Amendment in 1976. However, as the Supreme Court said in 1974 that although the words secular state were not expressly mentioned by the Constitution, but there is no doubt that the Constitution maker wanted to establish them. So we can look into articles. From 25 to 28, where we actually guarantee the fundamental right to freedom of religion to everyone. So we can see that we have actually included all this. We have actually included this idea in our constitution. So the Indian constitution embodies the positive concept of secularism. That means that all religion in our country can be practiced, and they have the same status and can support from the state. So moving on to our next term, that is democratic. So a democratic polity in our preamble is basically based on the doctrine of one, popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty basically means that this is a possession of supreme power by people. So now we have democracy. There are two types of democracy. One is the direct and second is the indirect. So in the direct democracy, people exercise the supreme power directly, and we can take example of Switzerland. And there are they use four devices of direct democracy, that is referendum, recall, plebiscite, and initiative. And on the other hand, the second type of democracy is indirect democracy, where the representatives are elected by the people, and then they carry on the government and make laws. So therefore, this indirect form of democracy is also known as a representative form of government. And we can see that our Indian there we can see that there are two kinds of representative form of government. One is the presidential form of government, and second is the parliamentary. So in the presidential form of government, we know that the head of the state is the president. Whereas in the parliament form of government, we can see that the executive is responsible to the legislature for all the policies and action, and that is why we have included universal adult franchise, periodic elections, rule of law, independence of judiciary, absence of discrimination on certain grounds are manifested of the democratic character of Indian polity. Then we can come on to what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, that it's not just about the political democracy, but we also want social and economic democracy. So basically, when we have liberty, equality, and fraternity, it means that we have life. So basically, these three form of democracy, they work with together, and he also calls this as the union of a trinity, where in the sense that to divorce one from another is to defeat the very purpose of democracy. सो इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर हम एक नहीं ऐड करेंगे तो हमें दूसरा क्या है वो उसका वेस्ट है, क्योंकि उसका कोई मतलब नहीं रह जाता. जैसे लिबर्टी है, अगर हम उसे इक्वालिटी से हटा दें तो कोई यूज नहीं हो, और इक्वालिटी को हम लिबर्टी से हटा दें. तो सिमिलरली ये सब है कि ये तीनों जो है वो एक साथ आएंगे, तब जाके हम क्या इस्टेब्लिश कर सकते हैं, पॉलिटिकल, सोशल और इकोनॉमिक डेमोक्रेसी. और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑब्जर्व करा था in 1997 that the constitution envisions to establish an egalitarian social order, rendering to every citizen social, economic, political justice in a social economic democracy of the Bharat Republic. ये सब जो बोला है 1997 के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, वो बोला है सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला है. उसके बाद हम अपनी अगली टर्म पे आते जो है रिपब्लिक. रिपब्लिक का मीन अ डेमोक्रेटिक पॉलिटी can be divided into two categories. One is monarchy and another is republic. So in monarchy, as we know, that the head of the state is usually a king or a queen that enjoys a hereditary position, that is that he comes into office through succession. We can take example of Britain. And the second we come that in a republic, on the other hand, the head of the state is always elected directly or indirectly for a fixed period of time. We can take example of US. So therefore the term republic in our preamble indicates that India has an elected head called the president, and he is elected indirectly for a fixed period of time, that is for 5 years. And then we come on to that a republic means two more things. मतलब republic के और भी दो मतलब है. एक तो ये है that the political sovereignty जो है वो लोगों के पास है और एक सिंगल इंडिविजुअल के पास नहीं है. और जो दूसरा है कि हमारे वहाँ पे हमारे कंट्री में जो एब्सेंस हमने प्रिविलेज नहीं दिया है पर्टिकुलर क्लास में, बट हमने जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज दी हैं वो सबको दी हैं, और जितने भी पब्लिक ऑफिसर्स हैं, सेक्टर्स हैं, वो सब ओपन है सारे सिटीजन के लिए और बिना कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के लिए. Then we need to come on to the next term, that is justice. The term justice in the preamble embraces three distinct forms. One, social. Second, economic. Third, political. And that can be obtained through various provisions of fundamental rights and directive principle of state policies. So social justice actually denotes the equal treatment of all the citizens without any social distinction based on caste, color, creed, gender, sex, and so on. So it means that the absence of privilege being extended to any other particular section of the society. मतलब हम किसी section of society को favor नहीं करते, बल्कि ये सब हम सबको equal treat करेंगे. And the third important aspect in the social equality is basically the improvement of conditions of OBC, other backward classes, STs, scheduled tribe, scheduled caste and women. So हम basically conditions जो है वो उनको हम affirmative action के थ्रू हम उनको uplift करना चाहते हैं. उसके बाद लेट्स कम ऑन टू इकोनॉमिक. अब इकोनॉमिक में हम सबसे पहले जो हम बात करते हैं वो इस टर्म में बात करते हैं इकोनॉमिक जस्टिस denotes the non-discrimination between the people on the basis of the economic factors. It actually involves the elimination of glaring inequalities in the wealth, income and property. So it's a combination of justice and economic justice denotes that what is also known as the distributive justice. So you can underline this point. And then let's come on to the political justice. So political justice means that all the citizens should have equal political rights, equal access to political offices and equal voice in the government. So basically all the this idea of justice has been taken from the Russian Revolution in 1970. So our next term is liberty, which means the absence of restraints on activities of individuals. So it means कि हमारे ऊपर कोई भी ऐसा रिस्ट्रेन या फिर कोई भी ऐसा वो नहीं है जिससे हमारी लिबर्टी को हार्म हो. उसके बाद we can talk that at the same time providing opportunities for the development of the individual personality. So the government wants to provide the opportunities for the development of each and every individual in our country. So the preamble also secures to all citizens of India the liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship through their fundamental rights that are enforceable in the courts in case of any violation takes place. So we can also understand that the preamble is also essential for the successful functioning of the Indian democratic system. However, the liberty does not mean that we have the license to do whatever we like or to violate some others liberty. So basically it has to be enjoyed within certain limitations that has been mentioned in our constitution itself. So the ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity had been taken from French Revolution 1789. So our next term is equality. So what the term equality means the absence of any special privilege, so any section of the society, and the provision of adequate opportunities for all the individuals without any discrimination. So the preamble secures that all the citizens of India equality of status and opportunity. This provision embraces three basic dimensions of equality. पहला है the civic, दूसरा पॉलिटिकल, तीसरा इकोनॉमिक. एंड उसके बाद जो हमारे प्रोविजंस बनाए गए चैप्टर फंडामेंटल राइट्स है वो इंश्योर कर रहे हैं कि हमें एक सिविक इक्वालिटी मिले. तो हम फर्स्ट आर्टिकल की बात करें तो आर्टिकल 14 जिसमें हम इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, मतलब सबको इक्वल ट्रीटमेंट मिलेगी बिफोर लॉ. उसके बाद है प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth in article number 15. मतलब किसी को भी डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं करेंगे. उसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि हमें इक्वालिटी ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज ही मिलती है किस एरिया में मैटर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट अंडर आर्टिकल 60. अब हम देखते हैं अबॉलिशन ऑफ अनटचेबिलिटी. अब ये अबॉलिशन ऑफ अनटचेबिलिटी मतलब कहीं भी प्रैक्टिस नहीं होगी अंडर आर्टिकल 17. और उसके बाद जो लास्ट है वो abolition of any titles under article 18. So there are basically two provisions in the constitution that seek to achieve political equality. One, that no person is declared as eligible to inclusion in electoral rolls on the grounds of race, color, caste, sex or religion. And second, that election to the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies are on the basis of universal adult franchise. Then the directive principle of the state policy under Article 39 secures to all men and women should have equal right to an adequate means of livelihood and equal pay work. Then let's come on to the last term that has been mentioned in our preamble is fraternity. So fraternity basically means a sense of brotherhood, and it actually promotes, and how we have promoted fraternity within our country is by giving everyone single citizenship. Also, the fundamental duties in Article 15(1)(a) mentions that it's a duty of every citizen to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. मतलब हमारे country में common brotherhood का जो idea है वो practice होना चाहिए, और ये हमारी क्या है, एक duty भी है as well. और उसके बाद हम बात करते हैं कि preamble ने जो declare करा है कि वो है कि fraternity has to assure two things. One, dignity of the individual should be utmost, and second, the unity and integrity of the nation should be taken care. And the word integrity has been added in our preamble by 42nd Constitutional Amendment in 1976. So basically, according to K. A. Munshi, a member of drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly, used this phrase that the dignity of the individual basically signifies that the constitution is not only ensures material betterment for everyone, but it also maintains a democratic setup. But it maintains a democratic setup that recognizes the individual personality of every individual is sacred. And this has been highlighted through some provision of fundamental rights and directive principle of state policy in our constitution, which ensures the dignity of individuals. And further, we have mentioned it in the fundamental duties and also protect the dignity of people by stating that it shall be the duty of every citizen in India to renounce the practice of derogatory to the dignity of women, and also makes it in the duty of every citizen of India to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity in India. So our next we come on to what is the significance of preamble in the constitution. So basically the significance embodies the basic philosophy and fundamental values that are political, moral and religious, on which our constitution is basically based. It also contains the grand and noble vision of a constituent assembly and reflects the dreams and aspirations of our founding fathers of constitution. So, K. A. Munshi also said that the preamble is a horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. And we can see two other important people who have actually given views on what is the significance of preamble. One is Pandit Thakur Das Bhargava. He also said that it is the soul of constitution and it is a yardstick with which one can measure the word of the constitution. Even the Sir Ernest Barker said that the preamble as a keynote to the constitution in his book The Principles of Social and Political Theory in 1951. So next we come why preamble is as part of the constitution. So one of the controversies about preamble is to whether that it is a part of constitution or not. So we have the first case, that is Bedouin Union case in 1960. So the Supreme Court said that preamble shows the general purposes behind several provisions in the constitution and is thus a key to the minds of the makers of the constitution. And further, where the terms used in any article are ambiguous and capable of more than one meaning, and some assistance at interpretation may be taken for objective enshrined in the preamble. So despite the recognition of the significance of preamble, the Supreme Court specially said that the preamble is not a part of the constitution. Then the next case is Keshwananda Bharti case in 1973. The Supreme Court rejected the early opinion and held that the preamble is part of our constitution. and it was observed that the preamble is an extreme importance and the constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of the grand and noble vision expressed in the preamble. However, then we have third case, that is LIC of India case, that Supreme Court again held that preamble is an integral part of the constitution. However, there are two things can be noted, that the preamble is neither a source of power to legislature nor a prohibition upon the powers of legislature and are non-justiciable. Then we have amendability of the preamble. So yes, we can amend our preamble under Article 368 of the Constitution, that arose for the first time in the case of Keshwanand Bharti in 1973. And in this case, it also urged that the preamble cannot be amended as it is not part of the Constitution, but it has been amended only once, that is in 1976 by the 42nd Amendment Act, which has actually added three important words, that is socialist, secular, and integrity to the preamble. Therefore, this amendment was held valid. So, if you like my video, then please like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you so much.